Alright guys, I wanted to share with you a project that I've been working on for quite some time, a couple of weeks. It all started when I was at a friend's house in Connecticut and he was showing me his home theater PC. And he actually has a real in-home cinema built into his house. He turned his basement into basically a home theater with a projector. He uses a DLP projector. A very comfortable couch, nice sound system, very, very nice setup. And he's using a program called Plex to serve up and distribute his media content. So I decided to dig into it myself and see what it's all about and how it can benefit me. And boy, was I impressed. What I ended up doing was I took my home theater box that I built, that I use mainly for Netflix, Hulu, plus my own DVD collection, which I've ripped to an AVI format. There's 2 shelves of DVDs right there. Most of them are collections of TV shows. And I'm able to use this to play my content on my own television. But what Plex does is it allows me to play that content anywhere in the world. So I can bring my laptop, tablet, or whatever I have anywhere I choose and watch my own content without having to transfer the files to the device, which is pretty cool. Plex is kind of a hybrid local and cloud-based service. It doesn't cost anything unless you choose the premium packages, and benefits are just unlimited. Because if you have friends who also use Plex, you can view their content as well. I'll now demonstrate that. So I'm going to launch Plex. I'm actually using the web app, which can be launched on any device that supports Flash. But there's also applets which can be installed on certain devices. I'm going to show you my Samsung Blu-ray player app, which allows me to play my local content on my TV using my Blu-ray player. So if I had a server that was stored in that closet or wherever else in my house, it wouldn't have to be connected to the television as long as the app can see the device. Furthermore, you don't need to host the content on a computer. It can be hosted on a NAS device or a network-attached storage device. One comes to mind, the Synology devices. I believe all of them support the Plex app, which is free, which is awesome. Android devices support it. So let's take a look at it, and I'll just stop blabbering. We're going to launch the web app, and this is what it looks like. And it shows you all of the content on your own system, plus the contents of your friends' systems. So let's take a look at what I have for movies. There they are. And I'm going to zoom in over here. I don't want you to see my friend's name, so I'm kind of zooming out there. But you can see all the content that I have here, which is actually located on my 500 gigabyte media drive. I know that's kind of small. I'll be buying a bigger drive soon. But these are all of my movies that I own. We'll dig into the legality of this in a minute, but let's talk about what it does first. So those are all my movies. I can play these movies on my laptop no matter where I am. As long as this computer is running and broadcasting on the correct port, which I'll talk about in a minute, then it'll work. So, what else can it do? Well, let me zoom out here so I don't accidentally show you my usernames. What else it can do? What all else it can do? Whatever. TV shows. These are all of my TV shows, and it organizes them by title. And then once I dig into the title, it'll actually organize it by season. So, for example, News Radio. It even plays the theme song, if I have that turned on. I have 2 seasons of News Radio on here. Season 1 and Season 2. Season 1 only has 7 episodes because it was a mid-season replacement for something else. So let's go back, and there's that. Alright. So this is all my stuff. Now, what if there's something that my friend, we'll call him John, has that I want to watch and I don't have? Well, I'll go back and I'll look at his library of stuff, movies. Here we go. These are my friend's movies. Now, his server is running several towns over, and he has a fairly modest internet connection, just as I do. And if I hit play on one of these, it'll just play it in high def, which we'll talk about in a second. I can full screen it. So this is content that I don't even have. Think of it as a private Netflix, if you will. And that's actually what we're calling it internally. Well, between me and my friends, we're calling it our own Netflix service because we all have overlapping interests in content. So what makes that nice is I can actually watch stuff that I wouldn't normally go out and rent, just by looking at what my friend John or Bob or Steve has on their servers respectively, which is pretty cool. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, so this is going to kill my internet connection speed. It can. I ended up having to upgrade my internet speed because I intend to use this pretty heavily, and I already am. And I expect my friends to be watching my content, so there's going to be traffic going in and out. So I ended up bumping up my internet to 30 down and 6 up. And that's actually what I'm really getting. I'm paying for 103 down and 30 up, but how Comcast works. They don't really give you what you pay for. They never do. So that having been said, I can actually adjust my connection speeds by changing, or adjust the bandwidth usage by changing the allowed content resolution. So I can go into my settings menu in my server window, and I can go to, I believe it's in, I think it's in channels, no, network, transcoder, languages, it's in here somewhere. Web player, yeah, there it is. Streaming quality. I can change my streaming quality to match my internet connection speed. So if I have a low speed, or I don't want to waste my bandwidth, I can simply adjust the quality of my video content, both coming down and going out, locally, remote, and the channel quality is the channel plugins that are available with Plex when you install it or set up your account. So that's pretty interesting how that works. Right now I have them set to a modest 720p. So that's that. Now what if you have a server and a dedicated PC just for Plex on your network, and you want, let's say you have like a Mac Mini that you're using as a media center PC, and that's all it does is Plex, and you have a server in a server room or in your basement. Well, they make it easy by giving you the Plex app, which is free, and it's called Plex for Home Theater. This is the local version of Plex, and this will work even if the network is down. Let's say you lose your internet connection outside of your house. You can't use the web app, but you can use the home theater software. Now, the home theater software is pretty cool. The problem is it only works with a media center remote control. It does not work with a mouse, but there is some limited functionality with a keyboard. The other downfall to this is it only shows you the content that you have locally. It will not reach out to shared libraries. So I can see all of my movies. Oh, by the way, my music is on there too. And there it is. And I can control it with the arrow keys on the keyboard. I can select my album and tracks, which is kind of nice. So I don't need a remote control, but it's better to have one. There was some debate over whether or not remote control or mouse functionality was possible in this software. At one time it was, but they realized that it wasn't very user-friendly. So the company who makes the software, Plex Incorporated, removed the mouse functionality deliberately. And I can do that. The escape key gets me out of there. Just keep hitting it. Of course, to exit the software is a little tricky. You have to use the arrow key left to quit. That brings up the other menu, the quit, preferences, channel directory, shutdown, sleep. I can actually control the computer's power functions from this software. So that's the Plex. That's the Windows version of the Plex application for local usage. I did mention briefly that it works with some set-top boxes. I know that it works with the Samsung Blu-ray player, and I'll show you that. So now we're going to take a look at the Plex app for Samsung. Now this is an older Samsung Blu-ray player, so your device may be different. But it installs the app and it allows the device to connect to the media server as if it were just a regular media server or a network attached storage device. And you get the app from going to Internet at TV, and I believe it was listed under I think it was under Samsung apps. And it was under videos. Oh, they've changed their terms of service. Thank you for that, guys. I appreciate that. Let's try that again. Come on. No, that's definitely where it was. Yeah, there it is. It shows you under videos all of the different media plugins such as Netflix, YouTube videos, Voodoo, Plex. There's Plex, and it's completely free of charge. Pretty cool. So let's see what the app is all about. Let me get out of the store. Now to launch Plex, you can do it one of two ways. You can use the Plex full service application, which is kind of graphic heavy and a bit slow, and that can be accessed from the Internet at TV menu. It's a bit sluggish, and that's why I don't like it. Maybe on the newer devices it might be a little bit faster, but this is about 3 years old now, so it's of no shock to me that it's kind of slow. But it shows you all of your content, movies, music, TV shows, whatever you've got. So now we're going to go into the movies menu. I can do all movies. Any hour now, it'll show me everything that's there, and I can then play anything I want. Now, like I said before, this only shows you local content, nothing more than that. Let's see how they play. Back to the Future. And there we go. And I can use the same control buttons as I would if I were playing a DVD or a Blu-ray. I can hit stop, and it brings me back. This is a great way of viewing your content if you have a Blu-ray player or set-top box or a smart TV and you just have one server in your household. This is probably the preferred method of viewing your content on Plex. Works great if you have a projector, for example, and a set-top box or whatever. Now we're going to just exit the app here. Then we're going to go back to the main home screen. And if I select A for change device, it'll actually connect directly to my Plex server, and it can actually see all the shared content that's being pumped out through Plex. So I can select music or videos. And TV shows. Oh, shut up. Garfield Season 1. Now, this is a little bit faster, as you can clearly see. But like I said before, the control buttons still work the same. Pause, play, stop, fast forward. Now, I wasn't sure if it would play my music, so we're going to try that in just a sec here. My music is actually in my iTunes library, and it's been moved out of the library into a folder that is quite frankly out of Apple's clutches. And I wanted to see if the content would actually play. It plays through Plex. I've already tried that. But I don't know if it'll play through the Samsung built-in whatchamajigger, this. I know I can see the content, but I don't know if it'll actually play. I think it has to support a specific format, and that it doesn't support it. I'm not even seeing the content here. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't even show it to me. So that isn't supported, but like I said before, that does work through the net. And this, again, this is iTunes DRM stuff. Actually, no, there is no DRM in iTunes files, but anymore. There used to be. But nevertheless, it worked through the Plex app. That's pretty much it. Now I want to show you one other thing. We're going to just switch the Blu-ray off and connect to the Plex server. Okay. Now, if you're having trouble installing this software, the most trouble you're going to have is getting Plex to work over the WAN, and that can be fixed fairly easily. Okay, what happened to me here is the oh, I didn't want to go there. Okay. Oh wait, here we are. UPnP, whether it was enabled or not, would not automatically forward the port when Plex requested it. And I had a lot of issues getting Plex to connect over the WAN. And what I ended up having to do was manually set up a port forwarding entry. Now, in order for this to work, the server has to have a static IP address, and I'm going to show you where that is on this particular modem. Yours is probably going to be different, but it's in LAN DHCP, and you can add an IP reservation right in here. I have 2 active reservations, .10 and .14. Both of those, .14 is my server and .10 is my laptop. Excuse me. So once I click on the address, I can just hit. I can just add the MAC address into the client's menu, give it an address, and boom. But nevertheless, what the hell? I didn't mean to do that. Nevertheless, it wouldn't automatically forward the port with UPnP enabled. So it's obviously an older version of UPnP, or just a stupid one, and it didn't work for me. So I had to manually select or manually forward the port, and here we are. So for 192.168.0.1.4, there it is. I am forwarding port 32400, internal to 32408 external. And for protocol, you want to select both. It's that simple. Once you do that and activate it, it'll work. In fact, I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to go to Plex right now, back to my Plex web app, and I'm going to Settings and Servers, Server Connect, and this is what you want to see. You want to see 2 green checkboxes, and if you don't, then you've got a problem. Now, I'm going to disconnect this server, just like that, and I'm going to go connect to Plex. If there's a problem forwarding that port, what's going to happen is it just simply won't connect. You'll be able to use the service locally, but you won't be able to access it from outside your network, basically, is all I'm really trying to lay down here for you. And that's it. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go over. And if you have any questions, feel free to use Google. I mean that in the nicest way possible. But everything that I've figured out through Google, as far as why it didn't work, what I had to do to make it work. I also had another problem where my internal wireless network card was actually failing, and I had to buy a new one. I would get it to connect for like maybe 20 minutes at a time, and then it would lose its connection. So I had to replace it with a new one. The good news is wireless 802.11g, or I'm sorry, N cards are now selling for around $22 brand new on Newegg, so I made out pretty well there. So there you go. My home theater with Plex.